Jimmy, J, 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 J.
Yeah, this is MC Alfred.
Hey everybody. So now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the amazingly talented Richard Grieco. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hey guys, good to be here.
There you go.
Good. Now I have to tell our audience how we met, you and I, the first time. Okay, I was peeing, and you came alongside of me, and you started peeing, and then I said to you, "You have to come on my TV show."
Right.
So I'm selling a bunch of goodies to you. You got to come on. We got a big show with 5 million people, and then I always said, "Buddies that pee together stay together."
Wait, what was the name of the movie? Oh, Art of the Dead. So we were at the Art of the Dead premiere. Richard's in the film.
I loved it. No smoke up your ass, Richie. I loved that movie. That movie was one of the
best indie films.
One of the best indie films out. Most of them stink, especially the ones I'm in. They're real lulus.
Right.
But that one was good, and I wished I had more of you in the movie. I was kind of disappointed that you weren't really enough in the movie because you're a good actor. And these indie films need good actors because the rest of them stink.
So hold on, we didn't even introduce. So this is Ron Russell because I didn't actually introduce you.
He knows who I am.
Well, he knows who you are, but
we peed together.
I know you peed together, and it was a lot of fun. And now we have a chat room, probably about 15 countries represented. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everybody.
There you go. They're gonna love it. They're all excited to have you here, and everything is good. So
meanwhile, you're looking good. I like what you got.
You.
No, the long hair and the stash.
Oh, yeah.
You look better now than when I saw you that night. See, you get better as you get older. That's the way to go, right?
Oh my God! And they're talking about your gorgeous eyes. They're like posting all kinds of things up on the thing.
No, don't put your sunglasses.
No, it looks like really good.
You know that your eyebrows and your eyes are what made your face work. You know that, of course.
Well, I had a thing with my eyes and stuff, and the intensity of my eyes, and also
the eyebrow, the shape of the eyebrow always was very like speeding forward. You're a good-looking guy. You're a handsome guy.
I have a question. Were you ever one of People's Sexiest Men Alive?
I was. No, I didn't. That's a publicist thing. I didn't do that year, but I got on the cover of Us's top 10 bachelors twice, and then I don't think I got along with People magazine. So.
That's okay. You don't need to. So I want to talk a little bit about some of your. We're going to definitely talk about your music as we're going along.
A lot of stuff to talk.
But I want to go back because
you know why? Because you got a lot of stuff to talk about.
I want to. First of all, we went to Art of the Dead, and I don't know if a lot of people know all the great movies that you're a director now. You actually did a movie. I forgot. Let's see. That we had some of the people on our show. It was a horror movie, and it was
Art of the Dead are paintings, and each painting has a meaning. And I don't want to give it away, but it worked well. It was a very well done film, and of course, Richie was good in it. He's good in everything he does anyway. He's a good actor. There are shitty actors out there, but he's a good one.
So here's one thing that I didn't know though. We actually when we lived in Pennsylvania, because we've only lived here for a little over 2 years.
We were only in Pennsylvania for a short time because we had to be. I was stuck there.
So we had Nick Hawk on our show. And Nick Hawk was on that TV show Gigolos, and it says on IMDb you were the executive producer of that show, and that show was awesome.
Yeah, I created that. I basically created that show. I actually pitched that show to Showtime with everybody else in the room, but I actually did the pitch, sold the show, and we got a pickup for 6, and then all of a sudden it took off, and then it lasted 6 years.
We loved. It's the first time we've ever had anybody like that on the show.
6 years is a good run,
and it was really funny. And he was showing us the mold for his he's got his own adult toys, in the stores, and he was showing us that and telling us how much money he charged women for a weekend and stuff. And I was holy shit!
And I said to him, "Too bad people don't smoke anymore." He said, "Why is that?" I said, "Because we could have made your penis into a cigarette lighter, and you could have put it on your coffee table. When friends come over, you grab it like a dildo. Say, would you like a light?"
It was hilarious.
Anyway, he's a fun guy. We had a lot
of fun with him. And let's go back to Booker though, because I originally became a fan with the whole 21 Jumpstreet and Booker, and I'm a big fan of Lori Petty, and she's going to be coming on the show. And she was in Booker. She was like what was she, like your secretary or something in Booker?
She came on. She came on. I think around the 8th or 9th episode, and we just gelled right away. And she's wonderful. She was wonderful. Yeah.
So basically, though, because 21 Jump Street really blew up careers from lots of people, you included, and I still watch it. I have all of them on DVD. I think they're great. I love to watch them. So give us some kind of insight, or just tell us something about the experience for being on that, because anybody who's like my age or a little bit younger, that's like a staple show for us. Like when we were younger growing up, and it's cool to see how you've evolved.
It was before my time.
Oh yeah.
I was a toddler.
Yeah.
That show. I mean, initially, I auditioned for the character Booker with probably 1,000 other actors, and ended up getting the role. It was only supposed to be for one day, and one episode, and then Fox did before the episode even aired. They started promoting this Grieco Depp thing, kind of like a WWA fight, and it took off. So all of a sudden I was on another episode. Next thing I know, I was signed for the whole year. And the other castmates want to know what the hell was going on. I mean, the first day of the table read, basically everyone looked at me and said, "Who the hell is that guy?" Literally. Yeah. And I put myself in their place. Like, I would probably be like, why is this person here? What have we done wrong? I mean, or what haven't we done right? But they needed some edge to the show. A little, they needed an angle where there's a little friction, because they got a little buddy, I think, on the show. And my character Booker actually added that. And also, the Depp character needed someone to play off of, some kind of antagonist, so.
I think that they'll work perfect. Like, I loved the show the whole time, but I thought it got better when you actually got on and there was kind of like that antagonism. And I've met Johnny Depp a couple of times because I used to have a clothing store in Florida and his band used to shop there. So I had met him, and Dustin I had on the show when we first started many years ago. So I've kind of like, and we just met Holly Robinson's Pete's mom at a party here in Palm Springs not too long ago. So kind of like I don't know, it's just a show, and I think it's a freaking phenomenal show.
Okay, I've got two things I'm going to ask you to do. Actually, not one is a question, one is something to do. Question: Greek, you're Greek, right?
No, I mean, I'm Italian and Irish, but Greco,
because I'm Italian.
Was taken by all the Italians that were from Greece that moved to Italy. They just called them all Grecos. So there's definitely Greek.
La Grechi, actually.
Yeah,
La Grechi. Yeah. Anyway, that's the first thing. The second thing is, do me a favor, lift the hat off, bring those eyes close to the camera, because all the girls will
They're
scream.
like freaking out.
The girls want, they're writing in the face thing on the stupid computer. Let's see his gorgeous eyes. Come close.
I mean, you're not going to see it with that hair.
No. Bring one eyeball close. Let those girls see those gorgeous eyes.
There you go, ladies.
They're killing themselves in the chat room.
Yeah, they love it.
They're screaming, "Aren't women demented?" I mean, if you got a cute face and you're famous, they go crazy for you. But if you have a cute face and you're not famous, they treat you like shit.
It's so.
What do you think about that? How do the ladies treat you?
I've never had a problem. I mean, everyone's been pretty nice. You get your haters out there, I guess, a few of them. I mean, I've been with Michelle now for about 9 years, so I mean, so
that's a happy relationship.
So yeah. Now is she in the entertainment industry or something totally different?
Something totally different.
That's probably one reason why it works so well.
Yeah, I'm with Jimmy. Jimmy and I are legally married, and I hate him.
You hate him.
Working with him sucks. Jimmy and
we never get along.
We never have a fight out of theater. Okay, when we were in our real world, we get along beautifully. But the minute we get into the biz, we fight like animals. I mean, to the point where I'm calling lawyers, to see how much I could get out of them.
You gotta love it. First of all, too, you guys, you can follow Richard on Twitter. He's at Richard underscore Grieco. It's Grieco for anybody who doesn't know. And his official website is richardgrieco-official.com. And you guys know him from Booker, 21 Jump Street. He was in a cool movie, Born to Run, because we had like half the people from that show. We had Ken Kersinger, Christian Campbell, and Steve Basic all on our show.
Okay.
Which is fun. He was in episodes of Veronica Mars, which is one of my favorites. He played Loki in the television version of the Almighty Thor, and we used to do stuff with Cody Deal. I don't know what happened to him. He just disappeared, but like we were in a bunch of movies with him back in the day. He also, the great movie If Looks Could Kill, he played Bugsy Siegel in Mobsters. He's in At the End of a Night at the Roxbury, which was hilarious. You had a cameo in the 22 Jump Street too, right?
Yeah, I play. Yeah.
We saw him in Art of the Dead. He has a movie that he executive produced, Desert Moon, with Sarah French, James Duvall, Maria Olsen, Julianne Philpott, and Tyler Gallant, all who've been on our show.
And my dear friend, Sarah French is one of my sweetest friends, and so is Tyler. Sarah French is so beautiful, but she's a little standoffish. The first time I met her, I called her a bitch because she had an attitude. You know, she's like one of those profile broads, and she was just very shy. And as I got to know Sarah, I found a very interesting, warm woman. She did a movie with Marcel Waltz called Blind, which you've got to see, Rich. It is fabulous.
I heard it's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. And Sarah did your film came in second to that. Blind was number 1, and your film was 2. The rest of them were junk.
I have to say, though, like, because you've done some stuff with the Mahal brothers, right?
Yep.
Mahal brothers are probably the best indie filmmakers of all the people that we know in Hollywood right now, because, you know, their films aren't really super high budgeted, but they're actually really good films. When you go to see them, they get good casts. The stories are good. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Because we go to like 50 premieres a year, and probably like 48 of them aren't too good, but all theirs are always really good.
I mean, some of
we
them.
have Attack of the Unknown coming out, and I think that's coming out September, October. I did with the Mahals. Which actually I saw, and it's they did a really nice job. What's good about them is they put the money where it should be, which is actually in the movie. And the special effects, they put a lot of money into that. The sound, they put a lot of money into that. And they do a good job. They really do. With the money that we have to spend and the time we have to work, they put out a good product.
You know, Richard, how do you do a film in 10 days and the budget is 150,000, excuse me, and you expect it to look like something decent? It's not possible. At least I've never seen it yet. I know the budgets of all the films we go to see. And I want to tell the producers, don't be so anxious to do your film. Gather your money. You know, instead of getting 150, let it go a year more and get 250, 350. And don't shoot in 10 days where people read lines. I'm in a movie right now that I'm having a breakdown from. We're shooting it. I play an General Milan, and I'm out there to save the world from killer clowns. And I said to the writer, I said, what's my character? You brought me on this, I'm in the film, and what the fuck for, I'll never know. And then I'm out at the fucking film, and then I'm in the next scene again. I pop in and out like some kind of a cartoon.
Right.
There's no such thing as a table read anymore. There's no such thing as rehearsal anymore. Now
in these low budget movies.
Yeah, but the ones I'm in, they're like $2 movies. You know, they tell you where to go. Walk there. I said, where are my marks? Oh, we don't have marks. But you see that dresser? Walk over to the dresser and then to the lamp. And I think to myself, is this like home movies like kids do at 14? These are supposed to be professionals. I really just like the films that I'm in. But, you know, at 80 years old, who the fuck wants me? So I'll take whatever I got.
I'll hire you in the next movie we do, next movie we produce. And
I think you've got
a
great
very
ones.
good film background in my early years. I did a lot of television and stuff. So now you know who wants me.
Hold on, let's go back to Attack of the Unknown, though, because Tara Reid is in that. Robert Donovan, who was also in Art of the Dead, he played the priest. He's a great guy. Douglas Tate's a good friend of ours. He's been on the show a bunch of times.
The only thing I disliked about that movie was the priest scene, and I kept telling it on the air when I was critiquing it. I said it was like a Dracula thing. They didn't need the priest with the crucifix and all that bullshit. I thought that was so not in the film. If they would have cut that out, that film would have had a higher quality.
Yeah, I think what they did with the film and what we had to use and the time that we had, They did a really good job with special effects. I thought they were really creative with that. I understand that thing with the cross going in his eye and stuff. That was a little kind
I
of.
mean, not necessary, stupid. It didn't work with the film. The film had some kind of class to it. It had some
Yeah, I
style.
did.
You
It
know,
looked like a much higher budget.
yeah, and it was really a story for a change that was very interesting. And of course, your work is good because you're a vintage actor. But some of well, he is a vintage actor. He's been around more than 20 years. That makes you vintage. Me, I'm antique, not even vintage. I went beyond vintage to antique. But what I'm saying is, he's an actor that's been working. He's not a novice. He's not on the set, saying, "Oh, is that the camera?" He
Right.
doesn't do that. So it shows. Eric Roberts, also, who I love.
I love Eric.
I love Eric, and I've seen him in some really bad shit. Let me tell you, and his work just shows beautifully because there is a vintage actor, another good actor.
Well,
But-
Eric, it doesn't matter what he's in. He always cares about what he does.
But he's intense. Eric has always been intense. He's even intense when you meet him in person. He's even intense if he's eating a sandwich. But I love his work. He's a great actor. So he does do good for the film as you do good for the film. I think if you are not in that film, I probably would. But I didn't have enough of you again. How many days shoot were you on?
I just shot all that one day.
One day?
Yeah, basically what they do with that type of film, they'll take names and they'll put them in the film, and just to draw the people in to watch. And a lot of times that character will just be in for 3-4
It's the
scenes.
come on character.
But what it does, it sells it overseas.
Yeah, you're a distribution name.
Yeah.
Like if they have you in a film, they'll get distribution, and they need it.
Exactly.
So the movie I couldn't remember the name of was Clinton Road, which you directed that film, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Cheyenne Elliott is an acquaintance of mine because actually, her grandmother is Dionne Warwick, and we had her on the show.
Right.
And,
Okay.
That was fun.
And so it was a lot of fun. And so is that movie actually out that people can see it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime right now. It came out in the theaters about a year ago in 10 cities. It did pretty well. I mean, it was it was an arduous shoot. Steve and I had 15 days to shoot this thing. We were shooting in New Jersey on Clinton Road, so we were transporting people from New York City to New Jersey, and per SAG we had 8 hours portal to portal. And so it was a real tough shoot. But
I would go nuts from that. In my day.
Some cast though.
Wait, in my day, I was on a movie with Sophia Loren and Tab Hunter that took 3 months to shoot.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a classic today. It's your beautiful work. I mean, it was really well done, and the acting was good. Even though Sophia Loren didn't like Tab Hunter, she thought he was too young for her.
So hang on, I want to go back to Clinton Road to give you a prop. So you guys, this is a horror movie, and it's got a great cast. Ace Young, you guys from American Idol. I'm just picking out the people who I actually know who they are. Vincent Pastore, who I know. Eric Roberts, Ice-T, Richard. You did a cameo in your film. Cheyenne Elliott. It's a great cast. It's a cool story. So everybody go watch it on Amazon Prime. So let's talk about it a little bit then. So now besides acting, now you're directing and producing. Are you enjoying it as a director? And how did you decide to go behind the camera?
Well, I think I've always had an affinity to go behind the camera just from being a painter, an artist, in painting, and starting with a blank canvas and creating something from an emotional standpoint. I think growing up, because I started so young, when I was about 20, in front of the camera, I always asked questions on what lenses they were using, why were they shooting this way, why were they shooting that way, why were they doing this over. Why were they doing this, master from this side? Why wouldn't they do it from this side?
Are you a Gemini?
Oh, Aries.
Oh, okay, because I'm a Gemini. I do the same thing you do. I think it's because we don't like what's being done to us when they make us look bad. And we want to change it. And I think
Both of you guys are gorgeous. You never look bad.
No. That's bullshit. Go look at my last movie. I look like the Wreck-It Hesperus. I look like some old queen. Please. I was at the red carpet. I threw up on the carpet. But no. I really feel that acting, and you're going to agree with me, Richard, acting is something that we must do, not the director. What do you think about that? The director can't tell us how to act a scene. I don't like that when they, like, Ron, put the Brooklyn accent on, Ron, take the Brooklyn accent off. That kind of shit. I read my character and I make my character come to life.
Right.
And I have my own idea, my own vision of my character. But the camera doesn't, because the director is shooting it differently. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That you don't get your work out there because the fuckers don't let you do it.
Well, what I like to do when I direct is keep it organic as possible with the actors.
Yeah.
The reason why you hired them to begin with is because it has something
To give.
about them that transcended into that character. So I give them room to breathe. I don't really do much with them unless it's really drastic where I have to do some line readings or this and that. But I give them enough room and enough takes, and I always ask if they want more. If I like something and I like it, but I always say, how do you feel about it? Do you want another one?
See, you're a generous director.
Yeah,
I'd work for you. I'd work for you. No,
So, do you like being a director? You must then, because you're starting to do a lot of it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I love it too. All right, so I'm gonna bring up something, and you're not even gonna remember. First of all, I think a lot of people don't know that you're like a music artist. You write songs and you play guitar. I don't know if a lot of people know that. B. Claudia just joined us from Germany. She was going crazy. She put up links of you. You must have played in Germany sometime, because she's got the pictures of the tour, and she's like, oh my God, he was on tour in Germany. So just say hi, B, real quick now that she's here. I was waiting for her.
Hi.
Yeah, and hey, B, you came in too late. You missed his eyes.
You have to go back for the repeat.
You missed his eyes, BB.
So many years ago, when I lived in Florida, I actually worked for a record label called Spectre Music Group, and I actually contacted you. I have this book from years ago that has your phone number and your email, because I was trying to get you on the label, and something didn't work out, and you didn't come. But I loved the music then. So you have. How many albums have you done? I know you have one called Waiting for the Sky to Fall, not including the new single. Do you have any other ones besides that one?
No, what I did was I just released Waiting for the Sky to Fall in Europe at the time in 1995. And because it wasn't like my agents and people like that didn't want me to release it in the States because you're an actor. And that time, the whole stigma was you couldn't do two things and this and that.
You couldn't be a triple threat.
Yeah, you can't do it all.
So I released in Europe, which I think was great, and did really well in Europe, and then ended up touring over there for like 3 or 4 months and had a ball.
They loved it.
Now you live in LA, right?
Yeah, live in LA.
Where are you from originally?
New York.
Oh, we're in New York.
Originally upstate New York, Watertown, and then lived in the city for 3 years.
I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised in Brooklyn. Can you tell? Do you hear it? I never get rid of my accent. Sometimes in movies they say, "Can you lose a Brooklyn accent?" And I say, "Yes, of course I can." And then I sound like some old queen.
Be knows all your shit. She's like, he was with Edel Music, EDEL Music, and you played in Berlin. Edel Music, and you played in Berlin, and it was an awesome show. And she was working at a TV station, and they used to play your music all the time.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. So now you got a new single.
I think, in all fairness, he's got to blow her a kiss.
Okay, blow B a kiss.
Blow, not you.
I know, not me. Him. There you go. He did it. There you go. That was for you, B.
That was for B, for being a devout fan of Richie's.
Yeah. So you got a new single. You just released it last week, I think, on Friday, on the 3rd, I think. Anyway, it's called.
Yeah, the 3rd.
It's called 6 Feet Away. Tell us a little bit about it. It definitely has to do with this pandemic.
6 Feet Away was something I was working on for about 3 or 4 weeks, I write every day, anyways. So this one came out of what's going on as far as the isolation stuff and how people are coping with it and not being able to see family or friends and stuff like that in a normal kind of way. And so I came up with a song. 6 feet away was a metaphor for, a lot of things, 6 feet away from, grasping that goal, or 6 feet away from actually talking to somebody, 6 feet away from actually dying. But I collaborated. I came up with the riff, came up with the music and everything. Then I collaborated with Kyle Perrin, and then George Romero came up with the video, and we shot part of it out here with Michelle. She shot most of it, and Kyle shot a little bit, and then Romero shot some stuff in Kentucky, and then we edited it together and came up with a cool, neat story with it, and it's doing really well on iTunes and Google Play and Amazon, and then catch the video on YouTube if they want. So
Yeah, you guys got to go on YouTube and just Google Richard Grieco 6 Feet Away. And I'm going to give a shout out to George Romero. He's a good friend of mine. He's a great, great guy. And and he's part of the Indie Brigade, which has a show on Friday nights.
Okay, so
which I'll be doing a podcast on there in probably about 3 or 4 weeks called Fragments from a Dirty Ashtray. So
there you go.
So what have you got cooking now that you could tell your fans? We have over 5 million people right now watching us. So make it good.
What we got going on right now is me and Romero got some things cooking movie-wise and graphic novel-wise. He's got some great stuff going on. I got the Attack of the Unknown coming out. I got the Country Singer coming out, which I directed. And working on a bunch of different projects. Also, I'm coming up with new songs right now. I'm going to actually, because of the success of 6 Feet Away, I'm going to finish up an album and probably release that in the next 2-3 months.
Oh, that's cool.
So for those of you out there, Richard's got a lot of stuff for you to enjoy. All of Richard's fans. So he's not like a sleepy worker.
No,
that's for sure.
Okay, so let's do some hypotheticals. You've been in tons of shit, and you've done. I love to ask all the people, especially people who've had like great careers. So here's a hypothetical: who's like on your bucket list of a male and female actor that you have not had an opportunity to work with yet that you think would be a lot of fun to work with? And then in thinking in the background, what's a movie that's ever been made that you would have liked to have been in that you weren't in? But it can be old, new, whatever you think. And so can the actor, the actress. They can be old, dead or alive.
And they could be dead too.
Because Ron's are all dead.
Right.
That wasn't nice.
So someone I would like to work with, alive or dead?
Yes.
That would probably be I would like to see. I got Dean, Brando, Cliff. I'd probably say Montgomery Cliff.
Oh,
good
wow.
choice.
Good choice.
Wonderful actor. Terrific actor. Never met him, but I know stories about him because I knew Elizabeth Taylor pretty well.
Right.
And Elizabeth would talk about him with the greatest love in the world. She adored and worshipped him.
And what's a female?
But he was gay, and there was a bit of a problem with that. With
well,
her.
we tried to do his story. This is 20 years ago, but they wouldn't let us do it.
Well, they won't say he was gay. They won't let on that he was gay.
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous. Gay is not a disease. It's just it's just who we are.
Stupid.
It is stupid. I mean, Monty Cliff was probably one of the most gorgeous men, and then he was leaving Elizabeth's house drunk, and he had an accident. He hit a pole, and his teeth went down his throat, and Elizabeth pulled his teeth out. I mean, she loved to tell that story over and over. And Monty wasn't as gorgeous after the accident.
But the thing is, you know what, Ron? The only time, he's got to be probably the most underrated actor of all time. He should have won the award from Here to Eternity. And he should have won it, but he only got nominated for Freud when his face was all screwed up.
Right.
And it's just kind of an ironic play on how his career went.
Well, Hollywood's full of shit. But his performance that I loved the most was The Heiress with Olivia de Havilland, when he was that money crazed, sneaky little son of a bitch who was going to marry the plain Jane just for her money. And then in the end, she fixes him. It's a wonderful script. It was a wonderful movie. I think Olivia got an Oscar for it, didn't she? The Heiress? She did.
Just so you know, Ron used to have a show before he was with me.
No,
and
it's still going.
And he's getting ready to launch it again. It's called Set the Record Straight, where he used to interview all the legends of Hollywood. Jane Russell was one of his best friends, and he interviewed Tab Hunter and
Cliff Roberts,
Lauren Bacall,
Betty
Davis.
Oh, all the old bags.
All the old bags.
I grew up with them. I'm 80 years old, so these old bags, I was the kid. They were all 10, 15, 20 years older than I, but I hung out with all of them. And I used to go to all their parties. And I remember them saying, "Oh, you're so young, you're a kid." Now forget it.
I had never
But
But
seen
you were
that.
there when Hollywood was Hollywood. When
Yes.
Oh,
Hollywood
I was
was
there. I was there
back
when
then,
Hollywood was
Hollywood was
definitely.
Hollywood. Today,
Shelley,
Hollywood is
Shelley Winter's
crap.
my dearest friend in the world. I mean, Shelley and I were really close. If you sat down and listened, we used to have lunch at the Silver Spoon every Thursday, a whole gang of us, directors, producers, actors. And Shelley would take the floor and tell us stories about Hollywood and the things that, I mean, the marvelous stuff that no longer exists in film. Film today is, you go in, you read your lines, and you go home. It stinks.
Right.
So hold on, go back. What's an actress then? What's an actress you would like to have been with, and then think about what movie would you have liked to have been in also. And he complains about that Hollywood thing all the time, about Hollywood's not like Hollywood. And
Oh no, it's not Hollywood. It's a home movie.
No.
Now it's called a home movie.
I mean, I would say, as far as an actress, Vivian Lee. I mean,
Wonderful choice.
I just think she was such a brilliant actress in the sense that she was so good and her delivery was so brilliant, and she was, I mean,
Beautiful.
and beautiful. Yeah, but I love Vivian Lee.
I would agree with that. She lived a tormented life because her husband was gay also. And the fact that he was gay, she understood but couldn't live with. And her husband, of course, is Laurence Olivier, Sir Laurence Olivier. And that gossip went around when I was in Hollywood. I forgot what movie she made, one of the later year movies. And she and Larry were not even speaking. She was crazy. She had a nervous breakdown. But a brilliant actress. I mean, her portrayal in Streetcar Named Desire with her southern accent and those scenes, my God, where she gets in, paper lanterns and stuff, all that jazz, marvelous stuff. Brando was outrageously fabulous in Streetcar. It's one of my favorite movies.
Mine too.
You have good choice. You picked two good ones.
So do you watch Turner Classic Movies a lot?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had never, before I met Ron, I had never seen like any of them, and now we watch it all the time.
Because my friends are on all the time. I said, Jimmy can't believe it. He says, "You know that?" I said, "I know all of them." I mean, it's amazing how on Betty Davis is the one that flips everybody out. And now Voyager, she enunciates every letter. She was absolutely perfect. The ultimate lady, class, sophistication. She moved to an apartment on Havenhurst. And when I went up to a party of her house, I looked at the number at the door. It was 4F. And I walked in. I said, "Hey, Betty, you got the right apartment, 4F." She said, "Yes, 4 fucks. What are you drinking?" That was Betty. I mean, Betty Davis was a broad. A broad.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she was furthest thing in real life from a lady. She loved dirty jokes. She loved dirty talk. She was a wild woman. Fabulous.
Yeah.
So that's what tells me what a good actress is.
So hold on. Now pick a movie. Let us know, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Well, I've turned down a lot of movies that I kind of regret. But
Name one.
I think, Speed.
Oh, wow. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That was a mistake, Richard. Big mistake.
But the
Richard.
script I read wasn't the script that they did. The script
Oh,
I
okay,
read,
okay.
It was a bus that was just in a parking lot and never moved.
Oh, so it was it was boring. They upped the ante.
Yeah,
That's funny.
and,
Okay.
but I think probably movies. Can it be
Any movie.
a while?
Yeah.
Anytime, any movie.
It wouldn't be right. I mean, probably. I would say maybe East of Eden.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That's
now,
a good one.
would you want to play Jimmy's part?
Yes.
Hell of a part to play.
Yeah.
James Dean was really, in his real life, a little off the wall. He was gay also. He used to hide the gayness. Rock Hudson and he made a film Giant, and the rumors got out that they were carrying on, which is not true. Jimmy and Rock never had an affair. Rock Hudson, who I knew well, was very, very protective of his homosexuality. We were shooting Macmillan and Wife down on the docks in Universal, and he said to the script girl, "That line is a little effeminate. Could we change it?" That's how strict he was about what he said. James Dean was very, very compliment. I never met James, but these are the rumors and stories that were going around. He was very, very confused, and his work was brilliant because he started a whole new fashion in film.
Yeah, he did. I mean, I did a movie called The Apostate with Dennis Hopper, so I used to pick his brain about Jimmy, you know, with Rebel and
I saw
Giant.
Rebel. I
But
saw
nobody-
Rebel for the first
wait,
time just
no-
like a month ago, and it was
Yeah,
awesome.
but nobody could get close to him. That's
No.
the one thing that I was told. He sort of lived in a capsule. He
Mhm.
came to work, he did his scenes, and then he would go back in his capsule. You couldn't connect with him. And I
Yeah.
think that's sort of what Elizabeth Taylor found a little difficult because she was abroad when she was on a set. They were all her ex-husbands or ex-lovers, you know. So she was comfortable. She was comfortable.
Okay, so let's switch it to music for a minute. So, who are some of the bands? I don't want to say that influence you, but like, who are like if you were just going to be like driving down the road, I guess on your motorcycle. Do you have a motorcycle that plays like loud music? Because we passed one the other day on the beach, and I
No,
couldn't.
I have older school motorcycles. Yeah, I have regular Harleys. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're in your car and you're just driving down the road, like who would you be listening to? Who are some of the bands that like make an impact and that you like to listen to? Bands or singers? They don't have to be bands.
Well, I like Skinner. I like Elton John, Zeppelin, Creedence. I like Creed. I like Pearl Jam and U2, Guns N'
Pink-
Roses,
Pink
Metallica,
Pink Floyd.
Do you like
Pink Floyd. Pink
There you
Floyd.
go.
Oh God. I mean, yeah. I mean, The Wall is probably one of the greatest albums of all time.
He's a great friend of ours, you know, the saxophone player.
Scott Page.
Scott
I'm a
Page.
publicist, is how I actually support myself, and so I work with a lot of big musicians as a
Right.
publicist.
And Scott
Right.
Page has such great stories about the group and traveling and stuff. I told Scotty, write a book, but tell the truth about it. You know, I mean, the women, the carryings on,
Right.
So you don't really listen to like a lot of like anything that's new now, because everybody that you named is basically like 70s, 80s, and 90s.
I mean, I do, but I can't. I mean, I don't really. I don't know. I mean,
No, I
Would you-
get it
would-
because there aren't that many like, especially like rock music.
I
There
like
aren't that
Garth
many great
Brooks.
ones.
I like Garth Brooks. I mean, I've been a fan of his for a long time.
would you consider yourself an old soul?
Yeah,
I thought
I mean, even
that.
back when I was
I
20,
picked
listened
that
to
up.
stuff.
I picked that up.
Yeah.
You lived before. In your past life, you were very, very important. And in this life, you shun away from importance.
Yep.
Because I believe in many lives.
Have you ever had a band, or is it always just like you? I mean, I guess if you're on tour, you have to have a backup band, right?
Yeah, I had a band with John Dunmore called Richard Grieco and the Dunmore Band. I came up with the name Wasteland Park as the name of my new album, and but then I think the new album is just going to be Richard Grieco, and I'll come up with a name. But
What kind of dog do you have?
those are next. My friends next. Not my friends. My next door. I have 3 Boston Terriers.
Oh, how cute.
We have 3 rescues.
Yeah, we have 3 rescues.
All cute as hell.
That's what Sean
Yeah.
Kanan has too, though, right? Isn't his a Boston Terrier?
Yeah, yeah. No, they have a bulldog.
Oh, it's a bulldog.
Yeah,
Okay.
Michelle's and Sean. You know Sean Kanan?
Mm-mm.
You don't know Sean Kanan? You have to meet
Oh,
Sean
yeah, I have to introduce
Kanan.
you. You'll like Sean Kanan.
He's
He's like you. He's like a superstar, cool guy.
a super soap opera star.
He's a soap opera guy. But he was. Did you ever
Oh,
see
I know.
the
I know.
Karate Kid 3? The Karate
No,
Kid
I know,
3.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a wonderful show called Studio City, which is
It was up for 8 daytime Emmy
yeah,
Awards, but it
they-
didn't win.
They wrote it and they did it, and it's fabulous. And I'm proud to say I play his father
in the next
in
season.
the next season. Yeah, who raped his mother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was a young girl and I was a young man, and she came to Hollywood and I raped her, and Sean came from that rape. So I thought, boy, these soap operas, they hit you over the head with it.
So what is what is like your best like what have you enjoyed the best? Do you have a certain TV show or movie that you had the most fun on? Maybe it isn't your favorite, but that you had the most fun on doing, because people in the chat room are like digging all this stuff. They like love it
They're
all.
asking a million questions, Richard. You better do
I
a
think-
Q&A.
I think the most fun, like just pure, simple fun, was probably If Looks Could Kill, because, I mean, it was I mean, I had sneakers that walked up walls. I had cool cars. I had all these gadgets. I mean, every day was fun. Bill Deere, who directed, was fun. The cast: Linda Hunt, Roger Rees, Roger Daltrey.
Oh, Roger Daltrey.
Just a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, that would be the movie as far as just pure fun. I had would be that one.
So you worked with Roger Daltrey?
Well, I met him. I wasn't in the scene with him. I was so excited that he was in our movie that went up and talked to him, hung out with him a little bit, and he's just such a cool guy. I was like,
Yeah, me too. I would like to have met him.
We're actually doing we're putting together a charity-like concert. It's in New York at the end of the year if everything is okay, and Roger Daltrey is going to be one of our performers.
And then I'll meet him. I'll finally meet him after all those years. But they have a good lineup. They have Billy. What's his name?
No. I can't name them all because I don't have it all arranged. I don't have it arranged yet.
We can't name. One is like an insect, like an ant or a roach.
That actually probably going to have.
Oh, we can say the Adamant.
Yeah, I think we're going to have Adamant.
Adamant and
I like Adamant.
And Billy.
Possibly Billy Idol.
Billy Idol. He said
Tom
it.
Jones
Billy gave us the song for Booker, "Hot in the City."
Yeah, that's so cool.
So that's going to be fun. We fly to New York, and I get to meet all these great music legends as well.
We get to meet them all the time anyway, because Scott Page from Pink Floyd is one of our one of my clients, and they do a thing. They do a thing at the Wisdom called Think Experience, where they got all these famous musicians from different bands. Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction,
Rich, you gotta
Tony
go.
Franklin from like Whitesnake and all these other bands, and Kenny Olson from Twisted Brown Trucker Band. And they do the songs of Pink Floyd in the dome with this like 3D thing on the ceiling, and we go to it all the time.
It is so amazing. You lay in a chaise lounge and you look up at this dome, and the shit that goes on up there, and especially if you're a little buzzed, like you had too much Coca-Cola, and you're a little buzzed, and you're watching all the stuff. Listen, give us contact information.
I have all his contact information.
You know what?
If you want to go, we'll get you tickets.
When it opens up, we're going to send you free.
Yeah, we'll get you tickets.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go to.
You and your girlfriend are going to go because you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. And I don't really love too much anymore.
Yeah, but he has a good time with the whole thing.
And then, of course, Scott's there playing on his sax. And everybody in that orchestra is a big deal. The drummer is
Stephen Perkins from Jane's Addiction. I said
we love, and then the guitarist.
I got it all. Kenny Olson.
I mean, it's a wonderful.
Tony Franklin was also with Jimmy Page.
It's a wonderful night out, and also on the grounds you could go in. There's things to eat. There's things to buy. Then they have all kinds of tents with weird stuff happening. It's really
weird stuff.
Well, for me, it's weird. I'm from the olden days, but I mean, I love it.
So let's tell everybody again. So you guys, this is Richard Grieco. You can follow him on Twitter. He's at Richard_Grieco, Grieco. His website is richardgrieco-official.com. He's got a brand new single, 6 Feet Away. He needs YouTube views. Go on YouTube, watch his video so we can get it to go viral. It's a freaking great song. It's a lot of fun. He'll have a new album coming out later this year called, what was it called?
I'm not sure the album is going to be called yet.
Okay, Wasteland something might be a song otherwise.
That was not the title.
But also on Instagram, then go to Real Richard Grieco on Instagram.
It's Real Richard Grieco on Instagram, you guys. Rock Titan is in the chat room. He has a show called Rock Titan TV. He's really cool. Is in the chat room. He says he wants to host him. I'll introduce you on Twitter. Okay. And
so there you go, another interview.
And he's got a new movie coming out, Attack of the Unknown, which I think it's coming out in September. I think I saw on Facebook. I think it's at the end of September. With lots of cool people in it, along with himself. It's a Mahal Brothers film, and those are indie films that are definitely like worth buying because they're actually really good. They do a great job with it. What else do I got on here? Did I miss anything else? All right, what else you want to ask him? We got like
I just
three,
want to say
4 or 5 minutes.
I'm looking forward to seeing and peeing with you again.
I'm sure it'll happen.
I mean, you know how many women out there wish they could be men and hide in the bathroom when you pee just to get a peekaboo? But I didn't look. I'm a gentleman. I never look because I'm too busy winding mine up. It's on the floor and I have to roll it up. So I'm busy rolling. But anyway, Richard, let me tell you something. You're good. You're a good guy. I like you a
Oh,
lot.
I know my last question. Do you have any like are there any like Booker Funko Pops? Like, do you have an action figure?
Well, someone made me one. I mean, we're actually working on right now getting a Booker thing done. It's kind of under the radar right now, or not even on the radar right now, but getting either a Booker movie or a Booker series going.
Oh, that's so cool. And you know what? Well, maybe we'll start a Twitter campaign to Funko to start making a Booker Funko Pop, because I have like 150 like action figures of just
Yeah.
people who've been on our show. I like to get everybody who comes on our show. I like to get the action figure from my collection. So we'll start tweeting with Funko and tell them that they need to make a Booker one, and that would be fun to have one. And then anytime you got anything you want to promote, please let us know. We'll bring you back, because we had a good time. Everybody in the chat room had a good time, and we do.
Awesome.
The show will probably get 5 million plays. So
Good. And we look forward to seeing you at the red carpets. Please let them come back
too.
again. I miss
Yeah.
being out. Don't you miss being out and about?
Yeah, we're not beings that are inclined just to be stuck inside. So we need
Not
to be out.
me.
We'd like to
Not me.
interact. I need
Not-
to be out.
absolutely.
I'm too young to be imprisoned.
Yes, you are.
I am definitely.
So Richard, thank you so much. We so
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it. Have a
Love you
good one.
guys.
Good luck
Thank
with
you, buddy.
everything. Have a good one. All right, everybody.
Be good, my friend. Be good.
All right, everybody. That was Richard Grieco. What a cool guy. Everybody's saying what a wonderful interview. Thank you. All really good. And
And for all of you people out there, I didn't peek when he was being next to me. I was too busy telling him to come on our show. I mean, Ron Russell doesn't have any kind of class sometimes.